The next morning, Ethan woke with a sense of unease and curiosity that he couldn't shake. The small metallic device Lyra had left him lay on his bedside table, pulsing faintly with a soft blue glow. It hummed like a quiet heartbeat, almost as if it were alive. Ethan reached for it, turning it over in his hands, studying the sleek curves and intricate designs. It looked like nothing he had ever seen in Earth's technology, a perfect blend of elegance and function, glowing faintly with energy he didn't understand. He heard a soft knock at the door. Hesitant but compelled, Ethan opened it. To his shock, Lyra was standing there again, but this time she looked different. The subtle human disguise she had worn before was gone. Her true form was slowly revealed as she stepped into the light. Ethan's eyes widened. Lyra's skin shimmered like polished metal, a soft luminescence running across her body. Strange, delicate patterns, like circuits made of energy, glimmered along her arms and neck. Her eyes were no longer ordinary. They glowed with an intense blue core surrounded by golden rings that seemed to swirl as if alive. Her presence was commanding yet gentle, intelligent yet mysterious. Ethan felt both fear and awe, unsure how a single being could feel so vast and complex. "Ethan," Lyra said, her voice calm but resonating in a way that seemed to vibrate in the room. "I am not from your world. I am from a civilization far beyond your solar system, one that observes and guides worlds when needed." Ethan could barely speak. You're an alien," Lyra smiled faintly. "Yes, I am here to see if Earth and its people are ready to join the galactic community. But my mission is not simple. Many civilizations underestimate humans. They see only your weaknesses, your limitations, and they ignore what makes you unique: your creativity, your adaptability, and your persistence." Ethan swallowed hard. Why me? Why come to my apartment?" "Because you are human," she said simply. "And humans often succeed not because they are the strongest, but because they are clever, flexible, and unpredictable." "I see potential in you and in your species." Ethan shook his head, overwhelmed. He felt small, ordinary, unremarkable, and yet somehow she made him feel that he and his kind might be capable of incredible things. Lyra stepped closer, holding out her hand. In it hovered a small holographic projection of the solar system. Earth rotated slowly, tiny lights flickering on its surface where cities thrived. And above it, a fleet of strange, enormous ships moved silently, their shapes smooth and elegant, designed for observation, not attack. "These ships are not hostile," she explained. "They are scouts, sent to evaluate your technology, your defenses, your capacity for problem-solving. The galaxy watches you, Ethan. Many civilizations expect humanity to fail, yet I sense something different." Ethan's pulse quickened. "Fail? How? What do they want from us?" "They seek to determine if you are ready for contact, for cooperation, and eventually, for influence in the galaxy," Lyra said. "Your species is underestimated, and in their underestimation lies opportunity." Ethan struggled to understand. "So, we're being tested?" "Yes," Lyra said, her glowing eyes steady on his. "And the test begins soon. But it is not a test of strength or weapons. It is a test of ingenuity, collaboration, and the human spirit. I will help you prepare, but the galaxy will judge your people on your ability to adapt and create solutions in ways even advanced civilizations cannot predict." For the first time in his life, Ethan felt a mix of fear and excitement. His work at the robotics lab, small fixes, simulations, software optimizations, suddenly felt important. Maybe it wasn't just tinkering with machines. Maybe it was training him to think in ways that even advanced beings might overlook. "Ethan," Lyra said gently, "I am going to show you something few humans have ever seen." She moved to the living room and raised her hand. The device she had left him responded immediately, projecting a larger holographic map of nearby space, dotted with stars and strange symbols. "These symbols represent civilizations, fleets and networks far beyond your world," she explained. "The galaxy is vast and your species has only begun to scratch the surface. Most humans believe they are alone, but they are not. Many watch quietly, evaluating whether humanity is capable of more." Ethan's mind raced. "And what? What do they see in us?" Lyra's expression softened. "They see potential, yes, but they also see chaos, impulsiveness, and what they consider recklessness. That is why humans are underestimated. But I see a different truth. Humans adapt. Humans improvise. Humans solve problems that others cannot even imagine. That is your greatest strength. Ethan felt a strange pride, the kind that came not from accomplishments but from recognition. For the first time, someone, or something, truly acknowledged the unique essence of being human. "You said the test begins soon," he said. How do we prepare?" Lyra nodded. "We will start small. I will show you simulations, scenarios, challenges that will push your thinking. You will work with a small team, humans who are clever, resourceful, and innovative. You will solve problems that even advanced civilizations would find difficult. And through these challenges, you will prove to yourself and the galaxy that humanity is more than they expect." Ethan's heart raced. Simulations? Challenges? You mean, like, training? Exactly, Lyra said. But these exercises are not simple games. They will test your ingenuity, your teamwork, and your ability to think in ways that no algorithm or logic system can predict. And in doing so, you will see what humans are capable of. He took a deep breath. The idea was daunting, almost impossible to imagine. Yet at the same time, he felt ready. It was as if a spark had ignited in his chest. A recognition that his life, his ordinary, unnoticed life, was about to matter in ways he could not yet understand. Lyra led him to a small lab space she had projected into the room using advanced holographic technology. Tables appeared, tools floated midair, and interfaces with glowing panels filled the space. Ethan reached out hesitantly, touching the surface of one of the panels. It responded instantly, recognizing his touch and input. "You will begin with small challenges," Lyra explained. "Tasks that seem simple but require creativity and adaptability. These exercises will reveal the strengths humans often overlook in themselves." Ethan nodded slowly, feeling a strange mixture of excitement and nervousness. "And the rest of humanity?" he asked. Lyra's gaze turned outward, as if she could see across the globe. "The rest of your species will follow. Humans have an incredible ability to rise to challenges, often when they are least expected. But one step at a time, Ethan. First, we must awaken the potential within you." She moved closer, her luminescent form casting a soft glow across the room. "Remember, humans are underestimated because others focus on what you lack. They ignore what you have. Resilience, creativity, and a capacity to adapt that even advanced logic cannot predict. That is your greatest weapon." Ethan felt a strange determination settle within him. He looked at the glowing device in his hand, then back at Lyra. I want to try. I want to see what we can do." Lyra's eyes brightened. "Good, that is the first step. Humans often doubt themselves, but the galaxy has not seen your true potential. You will." For the next hours, Ethan and Lyra worked together, running simulations that projected potential challenges for Earth. Strange alien technologies, scenarios involving unexpected disasters, even strategies for negotiation with unknown civilizations, all tested his mind, his intuition, and his ability to improvise. Ethan quickly realized that humans had a way of thinking that aliens often overlooked. They anticipated solutions that relied on intuition, emotion, and creativity, tools no algorithm could replicate. Lyra observed silently, occasionally offering guidance but mostly watching Ethan adapt, innovate, and think beyond conventional logic. By the end of the session, Ethan was exhausted but exhilarated. He had seen glimpses of a universe beyond Earth, and in it humans could matter, could shine if they were clever enough, brave enough, and willing to trust themselves. Lyra looked at him with a soft smile. "You are beginning to see, Ethan. Humans are underestimated, yes, but underestimated people often achieve the most." Ethan nodded, staring at the holographic projections of stars, fleets, and potential challenges. I think I understand. Maybe humans are capable of more than we realize." Lyra's glow dimmed slightly, her presence calming the room. "You are beginning to understand, but the galaxy will not wait. Soon you will see that your ingenuity, and the ingenuity of your species will be tested in ways you cannot yet imagine, and you will rise to meet it as humans always do." That night, as Ethan lay in bed, he thought of the device, of Lyra, and of the challenges ahead. A spark of anticipation glimmered inside him. For the first time, he felt that he was part of something much larger than himself, something that could change the destiny of humanity forever. And somewhere beyond the stars, the alien fleet waited, silent, watching, and ready to witness humanity's true potential. The following morning, Ethan woke with a mixture of excitement and nervous anticipation. The metallic device Lyra had left him pulsed softly on his bedside table, as if it sensed his readiness. Today would be his first real challenge, an exercise designed to test human problem-solving in a way the galaxy rarely allowed. He dressed quickly and took a deep breath, wondering what lay ahead. A soft chime echoed through his apartment, signaling Lyra's arrival. She stepped inside, her luminescent form casting a calm glow across the room. Ethan felt the familiar mixture of awe and curiosity he always experienced in her presence. "Are you ready?" she asked, her voice resonating with quiet authority. "I think so," Ethan said, gripping the device tightly. "I hope I'm ready." Lyra smiled faintly. "You will do more than you expect. Humans often surprise even the most advanced civilizations." With a graceful motion of her hand, Lyra activated the device. The room transformed around Ethan. Walls disappeared, replaced by a vast holographic space filled with alien landscapes, floating structures, and strange technologies. He could see stars stretching infinitely above, alien fleets moving in intricate patterns and simulations of events that seemed almost impossible. "This," Lyra explained, "is the first of many simulations. Each will test your ability to think, adapt, and innovate. You will not be alone. You will work with other humans I have selected for their creativity and resourcefulness." Ethan looked around. A group of humans, strangers to him, materialized in the holographic space. Engineers, scientists, strategists, they all seemed tense but focused. Among them were familiar faces from Earth's technology and space programs, but also ordinary people whose ingenuity had gone unnoticed in everyday life. Lyra's voice carried clearly through the simulation. "Your task is simple in concept, solve the problem. But the solution is not obvious. Use your skills, your intuition, and your creativity. Observe the scenario, analyze it, and adapt. Remember, humans succeed not by following logic alone, but by thinking beyond the expected." The first challenge appeared before them. A simulated alien vessel, enormous and unlike anything on Earth, was drifting toward a planet. Its energy readings fluctuated unpredictably, and it threatened to destabilize the planet's orbit. The humans had limited resources. A handful of small ships, energy projectors, and basic control systems. Ethan and the team gathered quickly. "We need to stabilize its trajectory," one of the engineers suggested. "We could try brute force, push it away with the energy projectors." Lyra's holographic form appeared beside them. "Brute force is predictable. Humans often succeed by finding solutions that others cannot foresee." Ethan thought about it. The alien fleet had advanced technology far beyond Earth's. Trying to overpower it directly would fail. But humans had creativity, unpredictability, and the ability to improvise. He spoke up. "What if we don't move the vessel directly? What if we adjust the planet's orbit slightly, using minimal energy, and let the vessel's momentum correct itself?" The team looked at him in surprise. "That could work," another human said. "It uses less energy and relies on natural forces rather than trying to overpower the alien technology." Working together, the humans adjusted the holographic simulations, fine-tuning the planet's rotation and gravitational influence. Slowly, the alien vessel's path shifted, stabilizing without destruction. The team watched in awe as the simulation confirmed their solution. Lyra's voice resonated softly. "Excellent, you see. Humans often solve problems that others cannot predict. Creativity and adaptability are your greatest strengths." Ethan felt a surge of pride. This was only the first exercise, yet it demonstrated the unique advantage humans had in a universe that relied heavily on rigid logic and advanced technology. The next challenge appeared almost immediately. A simulated alien colony faced a rapidly spreading energy anomaly, threatening to destabilize the entire system. The humans had limited tools: energy shields, communication drones, and a few analytical programs. One human suggested a standard approach: contain the anomaly with shields, then neutralize it using direct energy feedback. But Ethan hesitated. This approach was safe, predictable, but would it work against something so unfamiliar? He proposed a new idea. What if we use the anomaly's energy to fuel its own containment? We can redirect it in a loop, using the energy's natural flow rather than resisting it. Lyra observed silently, her glowing eyes reflecting the simulation. Go ahead. Test your hypothesis. Humans often succeed when they trust their intuition. The team implemented Ethan's plan, carefully redirecting the energy in a controlled loop. The anomaly stabilized, spreading no further. The humans exchanged looks of amazement, realizing they had solved a problem that advanced alien algorithms might have struggled with. You see, Ethan, Lyra said. Humans thrive in uncertainty. You improvise. You find solutions beyond logic. The galaxy underestimates you because it expects only predictable responses. Ethan nodded, beginning to feel the weight of responsibility. These simulations were not just games, they were lessons. Humanity's survival and recognition in the interstellar community might depend on this type of ingenuity. Hours passed, and the simulations grew increasingly complex. The humans faced challenges that tested their collaboration, their strategy, and their ability to adapt quickly. Each time, Ethan noticed a pattern. When humans relied solely on logic, they struggled. But when they combined logic with creativity, intuition, and risk-taking, they excelled. One simulation involved negotiating with an alien species whose communication relied on complex patterns of light and sound. Standard translation programs failed. Most humans would have been overwhelmed, but Ethan and the team observed the alien patterns, then responded using improvisation, creating a system of responses that communicated understanding and intent. The aliens, simulated yet convincingly real, responded positively, and the humans succeeded in building trust. Lyra's glow brightened. In situations like this, humans succeed where others fail. You do not rely solely on technology. You use insight, creativity, and empathy. That is your power. Ethan felt a profound sense of realization. Humans were underestimated not because they were weak, but because their greatest strengths were intangible. Their ability to adapt, to see possibilities others could not, to improvise under pressure. These qualities were invisible to civilizations that measured only physical or technological might. By the end of the day, the humans had completed several complex simulations. Each challenge had been met with ingenuity and collaboration. Ethan, exhausted but exhilarated, leaned back and looked at Lyra. So, this is what humans are capable of, he said. Even with limited tools, we can solve problems that advanced civilizations might struggle with. Lyra smiled faintly. Exactly. And the galaxy has yet to see your full potential. These exercises are only the beginning. Humans excel when they face uncertainty and challenges. Your creativity and adaptability cannot be underestimated. Ethan felt a swell of pride. He realized that what he had once thought of as ordinary, his curiosity, his problem-solving, his ability to improvise, was extraordinary when measured against the expectations of the galaxy. As he left the simulation, the holographic lab fading around him, Ethan looked out at the city lights below. The world seemed smaller now, limited only by imagination. Yet above, in the silent depths of space, vast civilizations watched, waiting to see if humans could rise to challenges that would define their place in the stars. Lyra's voice broke through his thoughts. Remember, Ethan, the galaxy underestimates humans because it sees only what is visible. It does not account for the power of imagination, collaboration, and adaptability. Your people will surprise them as you have today. Ethan nodded, feeling the weight of those words. He understood now. Humanity's strength was not in brute force or advanced technology alone. It was in ingenuity, in creativity, in the unexpected solutions that no algorithm could predict. And somewhere in the vastness of space, alien observers noted every success, every solution, every spark of human creativity. The galaxy was watching, and for the first time humans were proving that they could rise above expectation. That night Ethan returned home, exhausted but inspired. He held the device Lyra had left him, feeling a sense of purpose he had never experienced before. For the first time, he believed that humans were more than Earthlings. They were capable of shaping the future of their world and perhaps the galaxy. And in the darkness above, the alien fleets waited silently, observing, evaluating, and beginning to recognize a truth they had long underestimated. Humans were unpredictable, creative, and capable of brilliance that no other species had anticipated. Ethan lay in bed that night, staring at the ceiling, thoughts swirling. He could feel the spark of potential within himself and within humanity. The galaxy had underestimated them, but humans had just begun to show what they could do. And somewhere, far beyond the stars, the future was watching, waiting for humanity to rise to its destiny. The morning sky was unusually clear. Ethan stood on the rooftop of his apartment building, watching the horizon with a sense of nervous anticipation. He had trained for this, at least in simulations. But nothing could fully prepare him for the reality. Across the globe, millions of people paused their routines, looking upward as alien ships appeared in the skies. They were unlike anything humans had ever imagined. Massive, sleek, and silent, the ships glided effortlessly, their forms reflecting sunlight in patterns that seemed alive. There were no weapons visible, no signs of hostility, yet their presence was overwhelming. News outlets broadcast live images from around the world. Cities frozen in awe, people staring in disbelief. Lyra appeared beside Ethan, her luminescent form calm and reassuring. "The fleet has arrived," she said softly. "They are observing. They are testing. And now humanity will have the chance to prove itself." Ethan's heart raced. The simulations had been challenging, but those were controlled environments. This was real. The fate of humanity, at least in the eyes of the galaxy, was being judged. What do we do?" Ethan asked, his voice tight with anxiety. "You show them who humans truly are," Lyra said. "You do not fight with weapons. You demonstrate creativity, adaptability, and intelligence. Show them that humans can rise to challenges beyond expectation." The world's leaders scrambled to respond. Military forces prepared, scientists analyzed, and global communications networks lit up with activity. Ethan and a small team of human specialists, selected for their ingenuity, were brought together in a high-security facility. It was a combination of Earth's most advanced technology and Lyra's alien enhancements, designed to maximize their potential. The first test began within hours. A massive alien holographic interface appeared above the facility, displaying a network of simulations and scenarios. The fleet had communicated a single objective: show capability, resourcefulness, and cooperation. There were no instructions beyond that. Ethan's team immediately recognized the challenge. The alien simulations were complex, combining technology, strategy, and ethics. There were impossible puzzles, systems that seemed contradictory, and scenarios that changed without warning. "Divide and analyze," Ethan said quickly. "We can't solve this as individuals. Each of us will tackle part of the problem, then combine our solutions." The team nodded. They worked methodically, humans collaborating in ways the alien observers had not expected. One group focused on stabilizing energy systems that simulated planetary cores. Another group created communication protocols to reach alien species in the hologram. Ethan focused on logistical patterns, using his engineering skills to optimize the solutions. Hours passed and challenges grew increasingly intricate. Some were purely technological, some ethical, and some required improvisation on the spot. One scenario involved an alien city under threat of collapse due to a sudden energy surge. The humans had limited tools but unlimited creativity. They devised a solution that rerouted energy through secondary conduits, stabilizing the city while minimizing risk to its inhabitants. Lyra watched silently, her expression calm but proud. "You are beginning to demonstrate what humans do best," she said softly to Ethan. "You adapt. You improvise. You collaborate. That is what makes your species remarkable." Another challenge appeared, a diplomatic scenario with alien representatives who communicated through abstract patterns of sound and light. The humans had no prior reference and no direct translation. Most species would have failed. Ethan and his team observed the patterns, experimenting with responses. Using intuition and trial, they created a system that conveyed understanding and intent. The holographic aliens reacted positively, and trust was established. Ethan realized something important. Humans were succeeding because they combined logic with creativity and empathy. They were unpredictable, yes, but in ways that produced effective solutions. The alien observers, though silent, were clearly impressed. The holographic displays shifted, showing subtle changes in behavior that indicated acknowledgement of human ingenuity. By mid-afternoon, the team faced the final test, a real-time scenario involving the fleet itself. The alien ships had created simulated disturbances in Earth's communications, energy grids, and transportation systems. Ethan's team had to respond in real time, demonstrating the full scope of human problem-solving. Focus on adaptability, Ethan said. Predict what the systems might do, then respond quickly. Don't fight the challenges directly. Use them to find creative solutions. The team split into specialized roles. Engineers stabilized failing grids using innovative reroutes, scientists neutralized simulated anomalies using minimal resources, and strategists coordinated logistics to prevent chaos. Ethan worked at the intersection, connecting solutions, anticipating new challenges, and improvising where necessary. The simulations were intense, but human unpredictability proved to be the key. The team solved problems in ways the alien fleet had not anticipated. Systems stabilized, crises were averted, and the holographic interface displayed a single message: human ingenuity verified. Lyra's voice resonated through the room. You see, Ethan? Humans are underestimated because they are measured by rigid standards. But humans excel when they must improvise, when they collaborate, when they rely on ingenuity and intuition. Ethan felt a swell of pride. Humanity had done it, not by brute force or overwhelming technology, but by using what made them truly unique. Outside, the world watched in awe. Observers noted subtle changes in the alien fleet's behavior. Ships shifted positions, glowing patterns pulsed rhythmically, and for the first time there was an unmistakable sign of approval. Humanity had demonstrated its worth, not as warriors, but as innovators. Lyra turned to Ethan, her luminous form calm and serene. The galaxy is watching, and humanity has begun to prove itself. But this is only the start. Challenges will continue, and humans must remain vigilant. Adaptability, creativity, and collaboration will always be your greatest strengths. Ethan nodded, understanding fully now. The tests were not merely about survival, they were about recognition. Humanity had been underestimated, yes, but that underestimation was a strength. They could rise, they could innovate, and they could achieve what no one expected. The rest of the day passed in a mixture of relief and exhilaration. Ethan and the team debriefed, analyzing every solution, every decision. They discussed what had worked, what could be improved, and how to prepare for future challenges. Lyra provided insights, highlighting patterns the humans had intuitively grasped and explaining why their solutions had impressed the alien observers. As night fell, Ethan stood once again on the rooftop, looking up at the alien ships. They hovered silently above, a breathtaking display of advanced technology and observation. But this time he did not feel fear. He felt pride. Humanity had risen to the challenge. Humans had shown the galaxy that they were clever, adaptable, and capable of brilliance that no other species had anticipated. Lyra appeared beside him, her glow reflecting in the calm night sky. Remember, Ethan, she said softly, humans often underestimate themselves, but the galaxy has now begun to see the truth. You are capable of greatness not because of strength alone, but because of the mind, the spirit, and the courage to innovate. Ethan smiled faintly, looking at the stars. I think I understand now, humans. We are underestimated, yes, but that's what makes us special. We can rise above expectations, adapt, and succeed where others might fail. Lyra nodded. Exactly. And the universe will remember. Humanity has begun its journey among the stars. Not as followers, but as innovators, thinkers, and problem solvers. The galaxy will watch, and humanity will prove its worth again and again. Ethan felt a sense of purpose settle within him. The fleet above was no longer a threat. It was a symbol, a challenge, and a reminder. Humans were underestimated, but that underestimation was an opportunity. They could shape the future, not just for Earth, but for the entire galaxy. As the night deepened, Ethan returned to his apartment, the city lights below twinkling like distant stars. He held the device Lyra had given him, feeling its soft pulse as a reminder of what lay ahead. Humanity had passed the first real test. The galaxy had begun to take notice, and somewhere beyond the stars the alien fleet observed, silently acknowledging what humans had achieved. They had underestimated Earthlings, but humanity had shown them the power of creativity, collaboration, and ingenuity. Ethan lay in bed that night, staring at the ceiling, thoughts racing. The simulations, the real-time tests, the alien fleet, they were only the beginning. Humanity had a long road ahead, but for the first time he felt confident. Humans could rise to any challenge. They could adapt. They could innovate, and the galaxy would watch, waiting for the next demonstration of human brilliance. The morning after the alien fleet had arrived, the world was quiet in a way it had never been before. Cities buzzed with energy, but there was also a sense of anticipation, a collective realization that humanity had stepped onto a larger stage. News broadcasts replayed footage of the alien ships, and discussions filled social networks, classrooms, and government offices alike. For the first time, humans were not alone in the universe. Ethan stood at the rooftop of his apartment looking up at the fleet. The ships hovered silently like enormous guardians, observing the planet with calm authority. He felt a strange mix of pride and humility. Humanity had proven itself capable not through war but through ingenuity, creativity, and collaboration. It was a victory of the mind, the kind that no weapon could achieve. Lyra appeared beside him, her luminescent form radiating soft light. "Ethan," she said, "today is different. The fleet has observed your species and the results are clear. Humans have demonstrated qualities that few civilizations possess: creativity, adaptability, and the ability to solve problems others cannot even imagine." Ethan nodded slowly. "So that we've been accepted? Recognized?" Lyra smiled faintly. "Accepted is one word, but recognition is more accurate. The galaxy has underestimated humans for centuries. Now that underestimation is beginning to change. You have proven that your species can rise to challenges that others believe impossible." The device in Ethan's hand pulsed softly. It had guided him through simulations, exercises, and real-world scenarios. Now it seemed to signal a new purpose, a connection to something far larger than Earth alone. Lyra continued, "This is only the beginning. The galaxy offers knowledge, technology, and cooperation, but humanity must continue to prove its ingenuity, its courage, and its adaptability. The next step is partnership, not subjugation or isolation. Your species is ready to learn, to contribute, and to grow." Across the world, similar meetings were taking place. Humans with talent, creativity, and resourcefulness were being identified and invited to collaborate in unprecedented ways. Scientists worked alongside alien researchers, engineers adapted new technologies, and diplomats began conversations with species previously unknown. The human race was no longer alone. It was part of a larger community of intelligent life. Ethan joined a team of engineers and strategists at one of the new interstellar liaison facilities. Holo displays projected star systems, alien habitats, and advanced technologies far beyond Earth's capabilities. Ethan felt a surge of excitement. Every day was a chance to learn, to experiment, and to innovate. Lyra approached him in the facility. "Do you see now why I came to you first?" she asked. Ethan smiled. "You wanted someone who could see the potential in humans." "Yes," Lyra said. "You and others like you. Humanity's strength lies in your unpredictability, your creativity, and your ability to collaborate under pressure. These qualities are rare in the galaxy, and they will define your species' future." Over the next weeks, Ethan's team worked tirelessly, adapting alien technologies to human applications. They designed energy-efficient systems, communication protocols for interstellar exchange, and simulations to predict potential cosmic threats. Humans were learning quickly, but more importantly, they were teaching the aliens that ingenuity could come from anywhere, not just from the most technologically advanced species. One evening, while Ethan was reviewing a complex energy matrix, Lyra appeared beside him. "Ethan, humanity has reached an important milestone," she said. "You are no longer simply observed. You are partners. The galaxy recognizes your species as capable of contributing, innovating, and influencing." Ethan leaned back, letting the words sink in. He thought of the first day Lyra had come to return his jacket, a simple, mundane act that had changed the course of his life. At that moment, he had not imagined standing here, working with alien technology and being part of humanity's first step into the larger galaxy. "Does this mean peace?" he asked quietly. Lyra's eyes glowed softly. "Peace is not guaranteed. Challenges will always exist. But humanity now has the opportunity to shape its destiny. You are no longer bound by Earth alone. You can explore, innovate, and influence. You have earned the chance to rise above expectation." The facility's lights dimmed as Ethan looked out through a vast observation window. The alien fleet still hovered, silent and imposing, yet no longer intimidating. They were symbols of recognition, guardians of opportunity, and reminders that humanity had proven itself. Later that night, Ethan returned home, the city below calm under the glow of artificial lights. He held the device Lyra had given him, now pulsating in a rhythmic pattern as if alive. It had guided him through challenges, through learning, and now toward understanding. He stepped onto his balcony and looked up at the stars. Somewhere out there, across the infinite darkness, civilizations he had never imagined were watching, waiting, and now acknowledging humanity's presence. The weight of responsibility settled on him, but alongside it was a sense of hope, purpose, and pride. For the first time, Ethan felt that humanity was capable of more than survival, more than struggle. They could create, inspire, and innovate on a scale that transcended Earth itself, and he knew that he and others like him had a role to play in shaping that future. The next morning, the world celebrated quietly. Humanity had passed the first test not of force, but of intelligence, adaptability, and cooperation. Scientists and engineers from across the globe shared discoveries, while diplomats began conversations that would have been impossible a year ago. Children in classrooms learned not just about Earth, but about the stars and the countless civilizations that now acknowledge their species. Ethan returned to the interstellar facility, joining a collaborative project with alien and human engineers. They worked together to design new energy systems, improve communication technologies, and develop strategies for peaceful exploration. Every day was a reminder that humanity had grown, and that its ingenuity was the key to success in a universe that rarely expected it. Lyra appeared again, hovering near Ethan. "Do you understand now?" she asked. "Yes," Ethan said firmly. "Humans are underestimated, but that's what makes us special. We can rise above expectation, adapt, and achieve things no one thought possible." Lyra's glow brightened, her voice warm and approving. "Exactly. And humanity will continue to prove it. The galaxy is vast, full of wonders, challenges, and opportunities. Humans now have the chance to explore it, to learn from it, and to shape it. Remember, the galaxy will often forget humans, but humans never forget themselves." Ethan smiled. "And we will make sure they never underestimate us again." The months that followed were filled with progress. Humanity adapted alien technologies, explored nearby star systems, and established peaceful contacts with multiple civilizations. Each success was built on creativity, collaboration, and adaptability. Humanity's reputation grew, not as conquerors but as innovators, problem solvers, and partners in a complex galaxy. Ethan often thought back to the day Lyra had come to return his jacket. He had laughed at the simplicity of it, never imagining that it would lead to this, humanity's first real step among the stars. The world had changed, but more importantly, humans had changed. They had discovered their own potential, their unique strengths, and the truth that ingenuity and creativity were as powerful as any technology or weapon. One evening, as he gazed at the alien fleet hovering silently in the sky, Ethan realized that humanity's journey had only just begun. There would be challenges ahead, threats, puzzles, and mysteries that no human had yet imagined. But he also knew that humans had what it took to face them. Lyra's words echoed in his mind. Humans often underestimate themselves, but the galaxy has now begun to see the truth. You are capable of greatness not because of strength alone, but because of creativity, spirit, and courage. Ethan smiled and looked at the stars, feeling the pulse of possibility. Humanity had risen, and the universe would never forget them. And somewhere far beyond the stars, civilizations observed silently, acknowledging a truth they had long overlooked. Humans were unpredictable, ingenious, and capable of brilliance that no other species could replicate. The journey ahead was vast, but for the first time, humanity faced it not with fear, but with confidence. They had proven themselves, and the galaxy had taken notice. Ethan turned toward the city, the streets below glowing with life. The future was waiting, filled with opportunity, discovery, and the promise of greatness. And he knew that humanity, underestimated no longer, would rise to meet it. As he held the device, feeling its soft, steady pulse, he whispered to himself, "We are ready. We can do this. And we will." Above, the alien fleet shimmered in the night sky, silent witnesses to the dawn of a new era, a time when humans had proven that intelligence, creativity, and courage were forces the galaxy could not ignore. Ethan had never liked rainy evenings, but that night he didn't mind. The rain fell gently, coating the streets in a thin, shimmering layer that reflected the city lights like scattered stars. He pulled his jacket tighter around his shoulders and hurried down the sidewalk, eager to get home. The neon signs of cafes, shops, and hollow ads flickered in the damp air, but none of it captured his attention. His mind was full of the day's work, the problems he had tried and failed to solve at the robotics lab. Ethan worked on small projects most people wouldn't notice. Repairing drones, tweaking old androids, optimizing software for autonomous systems. It was routine, almost invisible work. Yet in his mind, these small adjustments mattered. They were pieces of a larger puzzle, a future where humans could truly reach for the stars. He had always believed that one day, even ordinary humans like him could make a difference in the galaxy. Lost in thought, Ethan didn't notice the soft knock on his apartment door. It was a sound so quiet he thought it might have been the wind. He frowned, pulling the door open, and froze. A woman stood there, drenched slightly from the rain. She held something in her hands, his jacket. Her hair clung to her face, and she smiled politely. I think this belongs to you," she said. Her voice was soft but confident, with a strange cadence that made Ethan pause. His brow furrowed. Yes, that's mine. Thank you." He stepped aside to let her in, but she shook her head. "No, I can just leave it here. I didn't want to lose it myself." Ethan hesitated. Something about her seemed unusual. It wasn't just the calm confidence or the way her eyes seemed to observe everything. Even the subtle sounds of the apartment. There was something else, something he couldn't quite place. "Are you okay?" he asked, his curiosity getting the better of him. She nodded. "Yes, I just have something important to tell you." Her eyes flickered ever so slightly, catching the light in a way that felt almost unnatural. Ethan blinked, wondering if he had imagined it. Before he could ask another question, she handed him the jacket. "I'm Lyra," she said, "and I think your life is about to change." Ethan laughed nervously. "That's a dramatic way to return a jacket." Lyra's smile didn't waver. "I don't exaggerate. Humans often underestimate what is coming." Ethan's brow knitted in confusion. "What do you mean?" Lyra hesitated, then took a small step back. "I can't explain everything yet. Not here, but I will come back. When I do, I hope you'll be ready to understand the truth." Before he could respond, she turned and walked into the rainy night. Ethan watched her disappear down the street, a mixture of confusion and unease settling in his chest. He closed the door slowly, leaning against it as if trying to ground himself. "Ready to understand the truth?" he whispered to himself. The words felt strange, foreign almost, like they belonged in someone else's story, yet a spark of curiosity lit within him. The next morning, Ethan woke to the sound of humming in the apartment. At first, he thought it was one of the cleaning bots he sometimes borrowed from work, but as he opened his eyes, he realized it wasn't a machine. It was a presence. He jumped up, his heart racing. The apartment was empty. And then, softly, he heard a voice. "Good morning, Ethan." He spun around, his pulse quickening. There, standing in his kitchen, was Lyra. But this time she didn't look entirely human. Her skin shimmered faintly like polished metal under soft sunlight. Subtle patterns ran along her arms and neck, almost like circuitry but organic. Her eyes glowed faintly, blue at the center with golden rings around them. Ethan could feel it before he saw it. A presence, calm yet overwhelming, intelligent and aware in a way humans rarely experienced. "Lyra." What are you?" Ethan stammered, taking a cautious step back. Lyra smiled, a gesture that felt both warm and alien. "I am what you might call a scout, a visitor from beyond your world." Ethan laughed nervously, though his stomach twisted with unease. "Oh, a visitor? You mean like an alien?" "Yes." Her voice was soft, but it carried authority. "Not here to harm you or anyone on your planet. I am here to observe, to learn. And to warn." "Warn?" Ethan's heart skipped a beat. He had read stories of alien sightings, invasions, and peaceful visitors, but none of it had prepared him for this, standing in his kitchen face to face with someone who was undeniably not from Earth. "Yes," Lyra said, walking closer. "Humans are about to face challenges that will test more than your technology. It will test your ingenuity, your spirit, and your ability to rise above expectations." Ethan shook his head, trying to grasp what she was saying. Why me? I'm just an engineer. I fix robots. I don't do anything important." Lyra tilted her head, studying him with her glowing eyes. "You are human. That is enough. Your ingenuity, your creativity, and your ability to adapt. It is rare in the galaxy, and you will see even small humans can make a large difference. Ethan swallowed hard, his mind racing. This was insane. He should call someone, report this, or run. Yet something in her presence, her calm authority, made him stay. You said you came to warn us, he said finally. About what? Lyra paused, looking out the window toward the city skyline, where faint silhouettes of flying vehicles moved through the rainy dawn. About an approaching presence. Not hostile, yet observing. Judging. Humanity is underestimated by the stars, and I am here to see if you are ready to be more than earthlings, if you are ready to rise. Ethan felt a chill run down his spine. He wanted to ask questions, but the words seemed to fail him. Instead, he found himself asking the simplest question. How? How do we know you're telling the truth? Lyra smiled faintly. You'll know soon enough. But for now, keep this close. She reached into her cloak and produced a small device, sleek and metallic, pulsing faintly with blue light. This is a communicator. When the time comes, it will guide you. Do not lose it. Ethan took it, feeling the cool metal in his palm. It seemed harmless enough, yet he sensed it carried something far beyond human understanding. Now, Lyra said, her voice softening, I must go. But remember, the galaxy often forgets humans. Yet humans never forget themselves. You will see soon enough how important that truth is. And before Ethan could respond, she turned, her form shimmering faintly, and disappeared into the rainy morning. The rest of the day passed in a blur. Ethan barely remembered eating or replying to messages. His co-workers noticed his distracted state, but he only smiled faintly as if part of him were elsewhere. All he could think about was Lyra, the device, and the strange sense of purpose that had awakened inside him. By evening, he found himself standing on the rooftop of his apartment building, looking at the city lights reflecting in puddles along the streets below. The rain had stopped, leaving the air crisp and fresh. He held the device in his hand, turning it over, wondering what it could do. Maybe she's right, he whispered to himself. Maybe humans are more than we think. Unbeknownst to Ethan, far above the Earth's atmosphere, tiny sensors blinked in patterns only detectable by advanced civilizations. Observing, calculating, noting, and somewhere in that silent observation, Lyra's mission was just beginning. That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. His mind was alive with possibilities. What would it mean if humans really were underestimated by the galaxy? Could they really make a difference? He didn't know, but he was about to find out. And deep in his chest, a spark of anticipation glimmered. Perhaps his life, ordinary and unnoticed before, was about to become extraordinary.